Yay. Hi, YouTube. Thank you so much for coming to my next live stream. I am super, super excited to be here and to do the little video that I have planned today. I hope everyone is having a really great Sunday morning so far and that you have some time to just relax and hang out before going back to work tomorrow if you are working. So today I'm really excited to talk about something called Devil Core. Oh, hi, Live Panic. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Hi, DC. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. OMG, I'm not late. Don't worry, I'm always like an hour late to your streams, so don't worry about it. Thank you for coming. So, thank you to Mark for leaving a comment on one of my videos yesterday saying that I should check out Devil Core. I I've been aware of these companies that fall under the Devil Core umbrella, but I was not aware that there was a name for it and that there were like a whole group of people who are trying to expose what Devil Core companies are, and it's really, really interesting. So hopefully Mark is able to join us, but if not and he watches the replay, thank you, Mark, for letting me know that I should check this out and for always having interesting movie or not movie video ideas. Thank you. DC says best Sunday ever. That's good. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend before you have to go back to work. Hi, DC. Oh, that's nice that you guys are saying hi to each other. I need a palate cleanser at Justin Prince. So glad to see you live. Aw, thank you. It's always fun to catch you live too. I appreciate it, DC. Then DC says, hi, Live Panic. That's so nice. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And I put this together in like 40 minutes, and I probably could have prepared a little bit more for this video. Not claiming to be an expert, and so if like I missed anything or I like said anything inaccurately, please let me know down below. And if you have any interesting sources about these types of companies as well, like let us know so we can all learn a bit more about how predatory these companies actually are. So I have a screen here that I want us to read through on a Devil Core review, which is an investigative journalism website. Where is my mouse? I always lose my mouse. That aims to raise public awareness of the world's biggest job scam and insidious sales cult, most commonly referred to as Devil Core. A marketing firm's online presence is vital to its continued success, so it's no wonder why they try so hard to control it. Their websites are full of jargon, and they share little to no insight into the services they provide or their actual functions as businesses. Their Indeed, Glassdoor, and Google location pages are full of five-star reviews that share no substantial information about the business or the employee's role within it. Genuine negative experiences shared online by disgruntled employees are taken down at the behest of their formal employers because of their use of language like pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing, and scam. Liv Panic says, oh my God, I thought the title of your live was something you made up to be funny. No. And when Mark suggested Devil Core, I thought it was an actual company. And I was like looking for a company website named Devil Core. And I just could not figure it out. It took me a while. But then once I found this page, it all kind of came together. And Savvy writes books, and Monica have done videos on companies that fall within this category. But I didn't even know this was a thing. It's so fascinating. Why is every potential source of information on these operations full of nothing but hot air? The only people looking any of this up are their applicants, who must be kept in the dark about what they've applied for. A Devil Core office's website, job postings, and Glassdoor page, which have been pumped full of fake five-star reviews, all bear no mention of street selling. Sales and marketing are loosely mentioned here and there, which the applicant uses to create a vague summation of the role they've applied for. But it's not until the second day of the application process, the shadowing day or the O day, like orientation day, that the reality of their job is made clear. And so they're trying at Devil Core review, they're trying to bring awareness of towards these job scams. So, Devacore is a term used to refer to sales and marketing firms under the corporate umbrella of direct selling corporations such as DS Max, Smart Circle, Sidecore, or Credico. And I'm sure we've all seen videos on Smart Circle. I'm pretty sure CC Suarez has done them too. Salespeople with these firms are recruited on self employment contracts, most often entirely commission based without a base pay. Is that legal in the United States? Do people not have to be paid the minimum wage? That's surprising to me, but we know people in MLMs are also not paid a minimum wage. As a result, they can expect to work over 10 hours a day for 6 days a week without any benefits of a full-time employee, including a minimum wage. Depending on how many sales they're able to secure and how many of these sales are later canceled, salespeople can be at a deficit for over 60 hours of work. So they don't really get paid for the work that they're doing. Although these firms will respond to complaints of being intentionally unclear or deceptive about the true nature of their roles with assurance that everything is explained over several interviews, every part of the recruitment process is designed to hide the street selling reality of their role for as long as possible. The job description and the company's website minimize any mention of sales and does no further to explain what sales involves. Serious questions at the first interview are ignored or met with jargon and language designed to confuse the applicants. Some companies will also attempt to manipulate their online image by having complaints and negative experiences removed from search engine results or by faking online reviews. Consequently, applicants aren't sure what they've applied for until shadowing day. When they travel a long distance with a team leader to a sales campaign, it's on this shadowing day that the business is first pitched to the applicant. Make enough sales and they rise through the ranks of the business until they become a team leader, then in time to open their own marketing firm. This is how the business model in theory spreads almost infinitely, limited only by the oversaturation of their own markets. Only a minute percentage of employees ever actually achieve this, however, and then the owner is still at the behest of the parent company. So we're going to talk about Smart Circle, where everyone starts as an independent sales representative, and then if they are able to get a certain level of sales and have a certain level of sales, I think they can become, what is it called? We're going to go through this. An independent corporate distributor, which is like their own business within the Smart Circle group of businesses. But we have a whole video where we're going to go into significant detail about what Smart Circle is and how it's structured. So I wanted to talk about this example that I found on Reddit through our anti-MLM. And this is just someone's story, but it's, so you can't fact check it, but it's a really good description of like how what the process is for getting hired for these scam jobs and how you are manipulated into thinking that if you just keep going long enough, you can like make your way up the ranks and become a manager, or what do they call it? There's all these different kinds of ranks for it. And then they'll pitch really high salaries, but it's only for people who are able to get up the ranks of these companies. So I'm really excited. And I'm sure we've all heard stories on anti-MLM channels about this exact kind of employment scam. So this is going to be a lot of reading, so I'm sorry if it's a little boring. This was posted 2 years ago, and I just quit a job that in hindsight has the most sophisticated MLM model I've ever seen or heard of. Worked there for a total of 3.5 weeks. Post is quite lengthy, but their bullshit runs deeper than a rabbit's hole. With COVID and all, I've been having a pretty tough time with getting a job. So about a month ago, I applied for what I thought had been the greatest opportunity, management trainee program in sales. On the job site, it said a lot of cool things to lure people in a tough spot, paid vacations, 70, 90K, great salary commission structure. And now I'm remembering a CC Suarez video where she actually went into detail about these kinds of scams and telling us how to be careful on LinkedIn and the signs that an employment opportunity is not necessarily super, what am I trying to say? Real. Like they're trying to trick you and con you into working for them. So cool. They got back to me, had my first interview through the phone, simple questions about leadership skills, nothing out of the ordinary. Second interview rolls around, and this was a Zoom call. Looking back, aside from one normal interview question, all the questions were bogus and had nothing to do related to sales or the job, like what's your favorite sport or what are your hobbies. Look past it, whatever. Things started getting weird during my third interview in person. So me as a like professional with a significant amount of experience, if I was in an interview like that, I would find it super weird. That would definitely be a red flag, but I could see how, say, someone just out of school, someone who's been unemployed for a long time, their defenses may be down. If you're 22 just out of school, you might not be aware of how actual like traditional job interviews are supposed to go, and that kind of interview might not seem that weird to you, right? But any interview I've ever had, it's been a significant deep dive into the job description. So when I apply for a job, I will keep the job description just in case. And then if I get an interview, I go through line by line of the job description and any other materials they may send over. Then I'll prepare like pages and pages of notes based on the job description. And then 9 times out of 10, majority of their questions are about how I think I could handle each job task, each responsibility. So they came in at 8, all dressed to impress, feeling good. A professional young lady comes in late and takes me to her office. We sit and interview begins. A couple of questions in my experience in sales, leadership, normal. And then the whole interview turns into them selling themselves to me. She breaks down who they work with, their company structure, and the business model. And then slowly she begins to tell me their very shit pay structure. That's also a huge red flag. I think at the very end of my interviews, they will say like, what kind of questions do you have for us? And then that's when I might ask questions about like pay and professional development opportunities. And the last like 5 to 10 minutes might be them trying to sell themselves to me, but it's never like the majority of an interview. So that's another red flag for sure. I was told we'd be setting up events and selling car products, and that sounded easy enough. You start off as a trainee and usually stay as a trainee for 2 to 4 weeks. 400 a week, or if your commission is higher than 400, you get that. You work Monday to Saturday, 8 to 5. On average, people are making 1,000 to 2,000 a week. Bullshit. You hit 400, what they call hitting the bell, 3 times in a week, and then they teach back their formulas to your manager, and then you get promoted to a team leader. So you get promoted based on your sales, and you move up the ranks based on how much you're able to sell. This is where you'll get an interview, and you'll get to interview and hire people. You've become an established member. You have to then train 4 people to leadership to get promoted to an assistant manager level, where you will start getting that 70 to 90K. I can't remember if I mentioned that salary up here. Yeah, so they'll tell you that you'll get 70 to 90K, like a significant salary, but you don't actually get that unless you're able to train people, you're able to sell a certain amount, and then you train people to a certain level, and you get promoted to assistant manager, and then you get 70 to 90K salary. You learn back ends of the business and then eventually become a manager where you own your own office and business. So you sell a lot. You recruit people who also sell a lot and get to a certain level, and then you open up your own business underneath the parent company. Like you are literally incorporated. Congratulations, you're now a manager in Devil Corp. Their motto is work hard now so you can have freedom in the future. Sounds like MLMs, eh? Alas, their dream of theirs is empty and manipulative. I'd be lying if I said I didn't fall for their shit. At the end of their interview, she says she has other interviews to finish up and lets me go. To my joy, the same day I was hired. Yay. That's also a huge red flag. I've never been hired on the same day. I think I've been hired like a few days later. But if I was just out of school and I got hired in the same day in a job that seemed legitimate where I had opportunities for advancement, I may fall for that. If I'm 23, 24, just out of school. I start my first day with an orientation and shadow day where I just follow one of their team leaders, salesmen. In the orientation, they start telling you all of their unethical shit, but not all. Remember the car products that I was supposed to sell? No, we're selling makeup door to door this season. Hop from business to business, solicit and sell fucking makeup. What the fuck? Okay. I go along because they're so well trained at brainwashing their new hires. If one doesn't stay, it's okay, because the ones that do, they will be established and brainwashed with a cult-like mindset. After all, the sales is a game of volume. They also showed me why they're not an MLM or pyramid scheme. Sounds like an MLM with extra steps. Oh, yeah. Where have I seen this movie before? Cece Swartz's channel, Monica's channel, Savvy Writes books. They've all done videos on these kinds of companies. So fascinating because I did not know there was like a name for it, and it was a whole issue in of itself. So fascinating. At first, I felt okay with selling makeup because it was on behalf of the Breast Cancer Society. No idea if we actually donated, and after a week that was done, no breast cancer, only makeup. I don't think they tell us. I don't think they tell us, but we are going to go into Smart Circle after this. I just thought it was a fascinating story about like the realities of actually working in one of these companies. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know if it's boring and I don't have to like go through the whole thing because it is quite long. Okay. So here's how they sold. You do intro and icebreaker. You tell a short story, i.e. lie about what you're doing at their business. We just had an event at Shoppers Drug Mart and had a couple of these bags left to come offer to the local community. Step 4, you close and make the sale. We tell them it's $200 worth of makeup, and since we only have 2 left, it's $30 to $40 for you. Step 5, rehash, upsell another shitty straightening brush. Sounds a lot like what they do in MLMs. So there are 2 methods. There are the methods. These are the methods called the Fugai method. So F, fear of missing out, saying they only have 2 bags left. U, urgency. G, greed. Everyone else at the event bought only one of these pieces for $40, and you get 3 products for $40. I, be natural and friendly so you can really feel like you're selling to a friend and customer feels like they're buying from a friend. So very similar to like, is it like the friend? Oh my God, I used to know all of this. The form method. Beachbody coaches tell you to form people, right? Like friend, occupation, relationship. Oh my God, I used to know all of these. I used to know how Beachbody coaches like actually went off and prospected people, but now I don't remember. Or Fred, was Fred one of them? So they were not paid for the shadow day. After a couple of weeks, this person did well and ended up becoming a team leader. And I have become an established cult member. This is where everything starts catching up to me. I found out the assistant manager makes only $40K a year. The business owners that make apparently $500,000 a year drives an old shitty Toyota. They're sophisticated MLM because they guise themselves behind an illusion of professionalism, dress well, professional interview methods, sell a dream. They don't hire random individuals and have them sell to family and friends. They hire just about anyone and only those in a tough spot in life, and those who bought into the bogus dream stay. In the morning, they have a cult-like meeting where they all chant, where all they chant is having a great attitude and other self-growth. Bull. Sounds familiar. Nothing about the job. It is world-class brainwashing. Also, I am to get in at 7:20. In the field, we spew our bullshit pitch to people, and only people who don't know better about makeup buy that shit. Come back to the office by 5 and then break down the day. I don't leave the office until 5:45 or 6. Your main goal is to recruit and train. You're incorporated, run your own business. Nope, sell what they tell you to, give power of attorney of your bank account to a parent company. Financial freedom, passive income. Nope, you don't get to live the luxury because you're a manager. You work in the field and still sell makeup. Tell your employees that you do this for extra cash and you enjoy this. How are they legal? They sell products and pay taxes. That's it. The makeup company we partnered with, thanks to my detective skills, I found that the parent company owns that makeup brand. If anyone messes up, the parent company isn't to blame. The company that they're incorporated goes under, and so do all those under the company. These companies are super predatory and shouldn't be allowed to operate. Tread carefully within the job market. It's so bad right now, especially because of COVID, but keep searching. Also, the makeup company is called Makeup Essentials, and the car products are FW1 Car Wax, owned by parent company Devil Core. Just because a company is legal doesn't mean they are doing the right thing. So there's a lot of similarities, of course, between this and your traditional MLM company. We found that they have a specific method to go out and connect to people they want to sell to in the field. We find that there's a lot of similar brainwashing techniques, a lot of just constant hustle, 7:45 and 7:20 in the morning to 6:30 at night. They don't actually have time to sit down and determine like how much money am I losing, Do I have time to hang out with my spouse? Am I actually happy here? Is this actually the environment that I want to be in? What else? What else? They're told to sell the dream. Like they're sold the dream. They're told that as long as you just work your way up the ranks, you'll be able to make lots of money. But then they found out that the assistant manager does not make good money, and like they're all just told to sell the dream. And so one of these types of companies is Smart Circle, and this is the one that I'm sure you've seen with Savvy Rates books and on CC Suarez's channel. It's very, very interesting, and this is going to explain a bit about how the company is structured, and we're going to hear a lot of similarities, a lot of the same narratives pushed with Smart Circle as your traditional MLM businesses. I think I liked this Reddit post because it said it's just a sophisticatedly structured MLM. So instead of just recruiting random people on Instagram, you're writing really legitimate looking job postings on LinkedIn, and then people are going through an interview process, and you are, as the business owner, you are hiring them and paying them and giving them benefits. But your success in your Smart Circle business does rely on you recruiting people who sell products and who are eventually recruit people to sell products and so on. Does that make sense? I hope I'm explaining myself well. Let me know if I'm not, and I can go back and look into repeat things a little bit as well. The main gist is that the real actions, the real requirements of the job are hidden. They're not paid appropriately. And there's a cult-like mindset among these companies where they are taught to just work constantly and they will achieve their financial dreams at some point down the road. So now we're going to learn about Smart Circle.
Hey, how's it going today, sir?
We're Smart Circle, the country's premier leader in face-to-face sales and marketing.
We've been in the customer acquisition space for over 30 years, and what's unique about Smart Circle is we do it solely via face-to-face marketing. No telemarketing, no direct mail.
Through our network of independently owned and operated sales companies, or ICDs, we meet customers where they shop, work, and live.
I absolutely love it. I'll be locked into a cubicle all day.
We represent some of the biggest brands on the planet in telecommunications, energy, consumer electronics, professional sports, health and beauty, automotive, and more.
We've seen a record-setting year for results. The Smart Circle and AT&T relationship is just crucially important to us.
So the fact that they're partnering with the biggest brands in the world just further legitimizes what the Smart Circle is doing. And I just wonder if those companies know the reality of actually working as a sales representative with these companies and the fact that they're not making any money, they're manipulated and strongly, strongly encouraged to just keep producing for their uplines or I can never remember ICD. What in the world does ICD stand for? Independent Corporate Distributor. Okay. Independent Corporate Distributor. Charlie says, yes, all good. Surprisingly, there's no buy-in fee. Right? Yeah, interesting, right?
Circle develops sales and lead generation campaigns for our clients. And then it's up to the network of professional sales teams to engage customers face-to-face. Whether inside the country's top retailers, or through corporate events, or canvassing door-to-door. Our sales network is made up of more than 600 independent corporate distributors, which we call ICDs.
So right after school, after grad school, I actually had a door-to-door fundraising job where I didn't make it past training because it felt kind of sketchy to me. And it was you go out and you fundraise for well-known charities. And I know a job does not, there's more to being a devil Corp company than just door-to-door sales. And I'm pretty sure I was paid for my training period. I'm pretty sure I was because I remember giving them my payment information. But I really don't know if the people who stayed were if they were actually paid hourly. I remember we did have meetings where we didn't chant anything, but it was a lot of personal development and mindset meetings. And I do remember that people were promoted very, very quickly. So who knows, maybe I was in one of these companies, but even with my lack of life experience at that time, I was like, this feels sketchy. I need to go. I remember we like got in the car and like drove for like 15-20 minutes, and we were paired with someone, but we didn't actually go into people's houses together. Like the person that I was paired with was like across the street somewhere, and then I was expected to just knock on people's doors. And it's like it's a big safety risk, especially like as a young female. I think I was like 23, didn't really know where I was. I had a phone and money, so I could have like called a cab if I needed to, but like sketchy. And I'm glad I like just followed my instincts and left quickly. But yeah, I wonder if that company was actually one of these companies. And if I could remember their name, I could look it up and do some research. That might be a fun video, maybe. My least favorite way of shopping is face to face. Sorry, no. Go away from my door, please, right? I'm antisocial. I don't want to talk to people. So the Smart Circle has over 600 independent corporate distributors, or ICDs.
Throughout the US and Canada. Each ICD is an individually owned and operated small business that recruits, hires, trains, and manages its own sales team. And collectively, the ICDs employ thousands of sales representatives.
So the ICD is like the upline, and so it's very similar to network marketing in the sense that they are recruiting people to work underneath of them. But in this sense, we're going to learn like they're responsible for like pay and orientations and benefits and interviewing, hiring, and firing. And so as the person said in the Reddit post, it's a very sophisticated MLM structure.
And every ICD is owned by someone who understands the challenges and opportunities of selling to customers every day, because they also started as a sales rep working for another ICD. Each ICD determines how and what to pay its sales reps. Generally, sales reps working in retail stores make an hourly wage, with some having the chance for commissions. And most sales reps working door to door or business to business typically get paid commissions only. When I started,
is that legal in the US? If anyone knows, please tell me. I feel like you could knock on 600 doors for 12 hours a day and make no money. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of commission only. Are there any other jobs where it's only commission, like maybe real estate, if you have to sell a house in order to get paid? But I feel like you would know that, like if you're going into real estate, you're well aware that you need to sell houses to make money. And in these companies, the real way that people get paid is probably hidden until they're on that orientation day, like where I was, where driven far away with people I don't know and told to knock on random people's doors. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I wouldn't have an issue with door-to-door sales unless you're told exactly how you're getting paid. DC said there are some commission-only jobs, but it's told up front in the contract. Exactly. Yeah, thank you, DC.
I was 22 years old, so I was definitely young, straight out of college. So being a sales rep in the field definitely isn't easy, right? There's a lot of long hours. You're on your feet. If you're in retail, you might have a bad day and only make minimum wage. If you're on door to door, business to business, what you put in is what you get out. So
I'd rather get paid minimum wage and no commissions than going door to door for 12 hours and not making any money. I would prefer a guaranteed income, even if it's a crappy income.
That's what your paycheck is based on. But once you get used to it and once you actually just apply yourself, then it could become very simple. And that's how you grow quickly.
And growing quickly is one of the biggest opportunities available to those in the Smart Circle Sales Network.
I was teaching tennis. I had never really had any sales experience. I started as a sales rep under another ICD in Dayton, Ohio, just selling DirecTV. And then within 6 months, I got a promotion to assistant manager. And just a few months after that, I got the opportunity to actually open up my own business. And now we're employing about 25 to 30 people inside of the office.
So in 1 year, he went from sales rep, assistant manager to ICD, where he was able to have his own downline and he opened up his own office. very, very fast promotions. So fast, that's not realistic in a normal job. I think I've been in employment where one person got promoted to manager in like 6 months, but she was just like extremely excellent at her job, like more so than your average person. But being recruited that quickly is not realistic.
So many people would love the opportunity to own their own business, and Smart Circle's model truly provides that.
The goal is to come in, learn the sales part of our business, learn from the ground floor, but then in addition, learning how to recruit, how to hire, motivate, team building, supervising, learning how to run your own business.
There's never been a better time to be part of our independent sales network. As traditional methods of reaching customers like commercials, email, direct mail, and telemarketing become less effective, our clients are turning to us and our face-to-face marketing know-how more than ever. And that means greater opportunities for new ICDs.
At the end of the day, this is a expedited growth process for management. The clients that we're working with want us in so many locations, and they want us there now, right? So we're not looking to take somebody from entry level and then running their own ICD in 5 years. We're looking to do it in a year.
With our model, sales representatives are even more valuable to an ICD when they start their own businesses within the Smart Circle sales network. That's because we pay the...
Of course they are. Of course ICDs are more... Of course, sales representatives are more valuable when they open up their own ICD underneath another ICD, because then, like, if your members of your downline open up their own business, you're going to get paid more off of their efforts. So it is just a more complicated, fancy MLM structure, in my opinion. Hope I'm explaining it okay. I was a brownie and a bluebird back when selling cookies and candy door to door. It was still a thing. Yes, I'm old. It was so traumatic. Yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward. I'm not the kind of person who is outgoing enough to just walk up to people I don't know. And also, like, even at the age that I might have been in a double core company, I was extremely overly cautious in public environment, in like external environments other than my house, and I was always hyper aware of my safety. And so I really felt like I was like putting myself at risk by walking up to random people's houses. And then in that environment though, like I would not have been able to easily just like go home, right? Like I could have called, no, where I was there was no Uber, so I could have called a cab technically, but I didn't know where I was, you know.
Original ICD consulting fees that are based on the new ICD's performance.
So if I worked for you in your business and I went off and I opened my own business, you would make income off of me. So that incentivizes you to help me get better at your business and learn more about the business so that I have the opportunity to open my own.
Smart Circle.
So you get paid more if your independent salespeople open up their own businesses under your business. So you need to have independent salespeople who find success with sales and recruitment, and then they will also open up their own, and then they recruit people, and then those people will also open up their own ICDs, and so on and so on and so on. So we could definitely see how pyramid-like structure will start to form with the high up ICD at the top, and we'll learn later that those people become like fancy consultants. And then we will hear lots of income claims as well. My doorbell is disconnected on purpose. People visiting text me when they've arrived, right? And then anyone else, like, you don't need to answer the door. Like, we don't need to do that, you know? And back in the day when I was like 12 and I was home alone, anytime anyone would answer the door, I would go hide, assuming like they're all bad, you know?
Pays consulting fees to the original ICDs, who we call quote-unquote promoting owners, for their work mentoring and consulting with the next wave of ICDs. Consulting fees can be lucrative additional income streams for ICDs, on top of what they earn selling products and services. The top performers can earn 6 figures annually. The most successful ICDs may go on to become regional and national consultants, taking on additional consulting and mentoring obligations in exchange for even greater compensation. It's not easy to achieve, but for those ICDs that do become consultants, the payoff can be huge. Currently, there are more than 40 regional and national consultants, and for the past 5 years, the top 5 per year have each been paid at least $1 million annually.
40 to 50 consultants being paid $1 million annually. Why are only, didn't they say like 600 independent salespeople? Why is the success rate so small? You think if it was such an easy business to succeed in, more people would get to the national or regional, whatever consultants level and get like the additional consulting fees. But remember, they get there if they recruit independent salespeople who recruit independent salespeople and so on and so on. It's interesting that these companies also have conventions, as we can see. Like, we saw men running up on the stage getting high fives and plaques, and like people's pictures were up on the PowerPoint. And it looks very similar to your traditional MLM convention. It's so fascinating that this company is just like a very cleverly disguised multi-level marketing company. That's just more formalized because, like, as we've said already, people need to be interviewed and they're formally hired and they're formally paid, but it's just the same exact structure.
Each of the consultants started out as an entry-level sales rep working for another ICD. They answered a job ad, did sales door-to-door or at retail, before becoming managers and starting their own business.
I started working as a sales rep. I started working a lot of hours right off the bat. For me, I was motivated to do that because I looked at it like, okay, it's a new chapter in my life. It's time to begin my career. I started my own business 14 years ago. At first, it was really scary. It was also very exciting, but what made it way more comfortable, and for me, I think what helped me to actually gain traction and become very successful as an owner was just the support network that I had.
So lots of very young people just coming out of university would probably see this as a great way to like get your foot in the door and just kick off your career. I really struggled to get my first real life job after university because I feel like you need to get your first job in order to get your first job, right? And so someone really needs to like stick their neck out for you if you don't have actual employment experience in your field and give you a chance. And then once you get your foot in the door and you get your first big girl job related to your career goals, then it's easier to get others. But the first job is really, really hard. And I feel like these companies really prey on that fear that young people in like their early 20s just coming out of school feel, and the desire to want to be an independent adult with a decently paying job where you can cover your bills and your food and you're not worried about not being able to make your rent, right? Larissa has been very successful. There's no assurance that you will do as well or earn as much. So maybe that's the smart circle version of an income disclaimer, maybe. So we're going to learn about Larissa's best business moments.
One of the best things about the sales network is it gives all of those ICDs the opportunity to, well, network and learn from each other, share what's successful, what isn't. On top of that, each ICD has access to consultants, national consultants, regional consultants, all of whom are also current or former ICDs who've gone through the same experiences. That kind of access to other businesses going through the same thing that you are, it can really change how successful you are or whether you're successful at all.
It also sets us up.
That's very similar to make it seem so amazing that Beachbody coaches can have access to brilliant training from people at the very, very top of the company who are multimillionaires because of Beachbody. Having access to training is not something to brag about. That should be something normal and everyday that everyone in their job is able to participate in. Seems weird that being able to network and communicate with people is something that is considered a positive when it should just be automatic. So like this is a Verizon award certificate, something I can't see, something sales. Yeah. And then thanks from the Verizon team.
Part is the incredible network of independent sales companies and the hard work they do every day.
It requires a lot of discipline, sacrifice, and dedication to your company and to all the people that you're managing. No CEO can just coast on autopilot, at least not one that wants to be successful. So as a new business owner, you've got to be out there in the field every day with your guys, and then also manage, running the office, hiring, the firing, the payroll, working with the clients. There's a lot of hats you have to wear, a lot of balls you have to juggle, and you can't drop any of them.
So when you're an ICD, you have to also like be in the field with your guys, like she said, with her downline, and also hire and run a whole office. I wonder if there's training available for these people to learn how to run an office, because that is not an automatic skill that people just magically have. I just wonder what kind of support is available for the people who are able to open their own ICD. Jessica's best business moment: paying off my mom's home mortgage and funding her retirement so she doesn't have to work anymore. That's a pretty good income claim, in my opinion. Liv Panic says, did you see when this was made, or do you know? It was made 4 years ago. So who knows if it's like still the same now. I should have checked to see how current this was. I'm sorry, that's my fault. But I think like it was a really good explanation of like how these businesses are structured and like the different ranks within it. But yeah, there's a whole YouTube channel, Smart Circle, on YouTube, where you can go and like dig in and see if they have any other interesting videos. I'm loving this income claim right here.
I love everything about what I do. Now, with that being said, it hasn't been easy. I did a JD MPP program at the Kennedy School at Harvard. Once I finished that is when I started working at Deloitte for 3 years. I remember quitting at Deloitte and telling my mom very excitedly. I walked away. I wanted something different. Running an ICD, it is difficult. You are responsible for making sure clients are taken care of, for making sure that your team is taken care of, and making sure that everything that comes with it, good to bad, soup to nuts, is 100% on your shoulders.
So this woman was extremely well educated, and probably had a lot of different employment options for herself. And she decided to join the Smart Circle, and she eventually became an ICD. Just shows that these kinds of companies, traditional, obvious MLMs or not, can really like prey on any kind of person, and anyone can get sucked in and kind of be blinded and wear rose-colored glasses if you're lucky enough to actually like work your way up the ranks, and in this case become an assistant manager and open up your own little business within Smart Circle.
Very big responsibility to have. Like any business, there are no guarantees for ICDs, and many won't succeed.
Being an ICD is hard. There's going to be a lot more that don't make it than actually do, due to the fact that when you're an ICD, all the responsibility in running the business is on your shoulders.
Maybe they don't
So, no, I should let her finish this. Sorry.
really want to work that hard all the time, or they don't want that responsibility, and that's okay. No different from some of my friends that started out as pre-med and swore they were going to become a neurosurgeon. At some point along the way they decided, well, that's not really what I want to do, and they became very successful doing something else in another industry.
So people who actually make it to ICD and say they find that they're not super successful or they need to leave, it's not because they realized how sketchy this business model is and that their independent salespeople beneath them aren't making any money, or realized that they're working too hard for not that much of a payout, and they know that the chances of them reaching a high level of financial success is very slim. It's because maybe they just didn't want to work that hard. Maybe their dreams and aspirations change, or maybe because they just didn't have the right level of dedication to like get through the hard. That sounds very similar to people talking about MLM distributors quitting their team.
For the hundreds of ICD owners who do succeed, it can be very rewarding.
It's amazing what can happen in such a short amount of time. I was at this meeting just a year ago, and I wasn't in this position. I didn't have a new house. I didn't have that nice of a car. I didn't have that much money. It's been
so another portrayal of a really fast success story. Like, this person was only been in for a year, and apparently, like, he's already paid off a car, he's gotten a new house, and his success story is being showcased in front of a lot of people, like hundreds of people who will probably aspire to that level of financial success. Crazy. Same old thing. Some people just don't want to work hard. Exactly. Yeah. Even though a lot of the people who are probably in these businesses are like very, very young, just out of school, and really want to establish themselves in like the professional job market. And so those would be the people who actually would work hard to achieve their goals. And it's just very polite victim blaming, very polite gaslighting. Like, you didn't find success because you just didn't work hard enough, and it's your fault.
An amazing year. It really has. It's been great.
It's definitely not easy work. I think the biggest reason I've stuck with it is because I know long-term what the payoff is. I know long-term what to create a certain amount of income that I really don't have the opportunity to create anywhere else. And some of the few things that I've done, I've only been in the business for a little bit over 2 years at this point. I've been able to give my parents a certain amount of money that just for them to have, almost as a kind of like a thank you for raising me.
My dad's a forklift mechanic. My mom works.
So he is in the business because he knows the long-term payoff. And if he just stays in long enough, he will make all the money that he wants to make. That's very similar in MLM too. They'll say, don't assume this is a get-rich-quick scheme. You won't see significant financial benefit right away. You just need to stick it out and work hard. And somewhere down the road, you will get paid a lot for not working that much. But it seems like in this setting, ICDs, they get paid more, yes, but they're still required to run a whole ass office, recruit a whole bunch of people, train them, pay them, and also be in the field with their salespeople.
At sales, I did not have an entrepreneurship ounce of blood in my body, but it's something that I learned, and it just depends on what the person's looking to get out of their opportunity. If they want uncapped potential, they want to be able to grow as fast as they want, as much as they want, then become an ICD would be for them.
Again, preying on the young adults just out of school who have a lot of student loans and are worried about how that may impact their like adult life down the road, having that much debt. You come here, you work for us, and you'll be able to pay off your debt a lot quicker. So predatory.
Even those who leave the Smart Circle Sales Network acknowledge they leave with skills to help them in whatever they do next.
My work with Smart Circle has been a huge positive in my life in a lot of ways. I think that I've learned a lot about myself. I've gained so much confidence, and I might not have the same goals that I had at that time, but I know for a fact that I am better and stronger and more capable as a professional because I was in that business.
Maybe you're more capable as a professional because you've grown up and you've matured and like you've had different life experiences. It's not all due to your time in Smart Circle. And also, if it was so amazing and brilliant, I wonder why she left. And I wonder why they're showcasing someone who left that has like a positive view of it. Maybe to show like, look, she left, but she loves Smart Circle and she's so grateful for her experiences. Just seems kind of weird. Why would you show someone who left, Not just student health insurance is expensive as well, right? And then maybe if you have like a health condition in the United States where majority of your health care is not covered, right? Like you have a chronic health condition, you're going to need to see specialists more often. You're going to need more medications. Maybe you're going to need, I just pressed a button on this. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me know if you can't. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be playing with my microphone. Maybe you need like physio or like surgeries, and it's just predatory. You're right. That's a whole other aspect, Charlie. People with health conditions who are desperate to be able to pay for their health care. Even in the United States, or in Canada, like your general, you can go to a doctor, you can see a specialist for free. Like you don't have to pay for that. But then if you need medications, if you need surgery, like you don't pay for the surgery, but you pay for the physio after, you pay for the medications after.
Yes, it's hard. But that work ethic, along with the commitment to doing the work with professionalism and integrity, are some of the distinguishing features of the Smart Circle Sales Network. and are the primary reasons top brands want to partner with us and the ICDs. We're in the business of creating unmatched sales results for our clients, and at the same time, creating entrepreneurial opportunities for the independently owned and operated sales companies in our sales network.
People come up to me at meetings and tell me how Smart Circle's changed their life. I think it's changed their lives because we created an environment and a model where entrepreneurs can come and thrive and be successful if they work hard. We give everyone the opportunity to succeed. And
what about market saturation? What about if you have 10 ICDs in one place, all trying to recruit independent salespeople to build their own businesses? And of course, you want your independent salespeople to also recruit. So maybe you can become a consultant. What if you have 10 of those in a small area and everyone knows a Smart Circle ICD and no one is able to actually recruit any more salespeople? It's not that easy. It's not just come in, work hard, and then you'll magically find success. It's like you have to be lucky. You have to have the right kind of personality. You have to be a good writer if you want to be able to, if you want to write high quality job postings that will actually get people's attention. That's not an easy thing to do. Not everyone can write job postings in a really like accessible, easy to digest way. That is a skill that not everyone has, you know? And to be an actual like successful ICD, you need to be like a leader, you need to be a problem solver, work independently, a fantastic writer, a fantastic organizer, because you are running a whole office while also being in the field, and you have to be really, really good under stress as well.
A lot of people, they achieve success beyond their wildest imagination. And that makes me and my partners really proud. I think we built something special.
Whatever your background, whether for 3 months or a career, take this opportunity to harness your potential. Learn more about Smart Circle today.
Some ICDs have achieved the levels of success described in this video. There is no assurance that you will do as well. If you rely upon the experiences and successes described in this video, you must accept the risk of not doing as well. Most sales representatives and ICDs will not achieve this level of success, and many will not be successful at all. Smart Circle cannot and does not make any guarantees of success. Interesting. So this is the Smart Circle income disclosure statement. Interesting. Disclaimer. Okay, is this just the credits? Yes, that's just the credits. I was going to show another window, but I think this one, like what we just watched, really explained it like super well. And so I don't think I need to do the other thing. But how interesting that this really is an MLM disguised in a really sophisticated manner, and that people might not necessarily understand what they're getting into and think that they're in a job with significant growth potential where they can get promoted really, really fast and make good money. But then they'll realize like, hey, I'm not making any money. Hey, they're lying to me. They told me one thing that's not true. And then maybe by the time you actually realize what's going on, you're like so far into like the company culture and like what the person on Reddit said, like maybe you are already starting the like brainwashing or undue influence process, and you're just so committed and you're just going to do whatever it takes to find a level of success in your business. And so interesting that they're focusing on fostering a level of a sense of entrepreneurship within Smart Circle and calling each of these ICDs their own business owners. But then if Smart Circle were to close down tomorrow, like none of these ICDs would have a business. They would not have salespeople underneath them. You know what I mean? So it's very similar to MLMs in that sense. Like you could have the most brilliant Beachbody business ever, but if Beachbody closes down, you're screwed and you don't have a business anymore and you're not making any money. I wasn't aware of this, a different level of grift. Isn't it fascinating? I'm so glad Mark was able. Well, I think it was like yesterday at like 5 o'clock. I just saw a little comment, Heather, check out Devil Core. And I was fascinated by it. And then last night, I just spent a while just researching and trying to put together like a little introductory video. And I agree, like I was also unaware of this. And I could see, like Lip Panic just said, a kid just out of college falling for it. kid just out of college is experiencing a lot of pressure to have an adult job quickly and to provide for themselves. And I'm just thinking about myself after university. I was very vulnerable. I could have easily fallen for this. Maybe I did fall for this in that company. And I'm going to go back through my emails and see if I can find the company name and see if I can like do a video on it, assuming it's not just like a regional company and it's only in like the spot that I was in university, because like I don't really want to like say where I went to school, of course. But yeah, maybe that would be another video in the future. But yeah, it's fascinating and it's so predatory. DC says this is wild learning about. Oh, I'm glad we learned something here, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed learning about like a different kind of MLM, because it is an MLM. It's just disguised a little bit better, in my opinion. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for watching the almost 1 hour long stream. And please go subscribe to DC. She's been doing a lot of fantastic streams about like different MLM companies. They're all very informative and educational. So go subscribe to her if you aren't already. And thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you, Lift Panic and DC and Charlie and anyone else who watch later. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday at 4:45 my time if you are able to catch it live. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. Bye.